Hi, my name is Larissa Winstead, and this is my envelope with my poem in it. Okay, next sealed. My poem is The Road Not Taken. Okay, The Road Not Taken. Two roads diverged in a narrow wood, and sorrow I could not travel both, and being a traveller, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for that the passing minute had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally rose, and leaves no steps had trodden black, till I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, and were ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Okay, so I know you gave us full 5 minutes to read the poem, and since that's what we're going to say for our expectation poem, I don't think I'm going to take the full 5 minutes, so it's been about 3.5 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and start with my expectation. So, The Road Not Taken is pretty a basic title. It really just kind of symbolizes, well, before you read the poem, it's more like something you didn't do. Like the road not taken would be something you never experienced before, a chance, an opportunity you missed out on. Maybe it's thinking back on what I could have done, what ifs, and how it could have been. That's pretty much what I would think it would be before ever reading the poem. Of course, I've already read the poem, so I already know what it's about. But, anyways. But essentially, the poem, in simple terms without really digging too deeply, is just a guy walking through the woods, sees two paths, looks at them, checks them out, sees what they look like, sees, which one's more safe, maybe. And I mean, they're pretty equal, really. So he just took one, and he left the other one for later, even though he really knew he wasn't going to come back. Took that one path, and that's all. It's been very good. Good path in the woods. Not much to it. But really, like, if you look deeper into it, like, there's a lot deeper into the poem than just he took a path in some ways. This is a poem where it kind of reflects about life in general. He uses a lot of symbolism. The roads aren't just roads. Roads are choices. So they you go through in your life through events. The road is like when you come to a red light and you have to go left, right, or straight, even U-turn and go around backwards. It's like when you come to like these big momentous decisions in your life, like choosing a college, for example. Decide, left to university, straight ahead to military, right to, I don't know, trade school, and turn back around and try high school over again. I don't know, they help me comments. So it's not like roads aren't roads per se, especially not in this film. Roads are different. There are different options in life, different choices, things you can do. And that's really important to the story. But it's not just roads. It's also like the way it describes the roads in the poem. It doesn't just say, oh, there's two roads. It really goes into imagery, showing like it says to where it bends in the undergrowth. Undergrowth is trees and stuff, so there's not just like a plain road out in the open. And it says it's just as good. So the roads aren't any different. It's not like one was all dark and mysterious and spooky, one was all nice and clean. Not like in Beauty and the Beast, where there's one road that's dark, one road that's nice and pretty, and you take the dark road, of course, if it's a movie. No, this one just says it was grassy. They're both, and both that morning equally way. Because I think that really symbolizes in life. You can't really just look at option A and option B and say, option A seems really bad, and option B seems really good, so let me choose option A. No, they both seem alright at the beginning. So, the imagery there really does symbolize a whole lot about the poem, and showing that choices aren't just black and white, they're not just evil and good. Choices are made up of gray areas, things that might seem good but come out different. But I think most importantly is the last stanza, the fourth stanza, where it talks about, I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Few roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. That part, it's different than the poem. It's as if it's just choices in life. It's talking about the consequences of your choices, the consequences of the things you do in life. And it's not saying that everyone made their own choice, like it's really bad, like, oh, that was horrible, I should have taken the other road. No, it's saying that he took a choice, he made a choice, he took a road, and it shaped the way he was, it shapes you, all your choices can shape you. You can't just go back and take them back. You can't say, oh, I didn't mean to do that, I didn't mean to make that choice, I didn't mean to go that way. No, it's once you go, you're stuck with it, and it can make you better, it can make you worse, but either way, it's gonna change you. And I think usually, even if it's something hard thing to do, it's gonna make us better. So that's pretty much like in the in-depth part of that story, of this poem. It's in-depth meaning of it. It's life and choices. And the attitude of the poem really, even though it's talking about something as heavy as like life and choices and everything, it's not like weighed down really. The attitude's much more calm. It's like you just kind of read it as you're standing there. It makes you feel like the way that Robert Frost writes it. It makes you feel like you're there, standing in the woods, and you're just looking out. Almost, it's serene, like you're standing on a mountaintop, looking over the ocean or the mountain or the valley, and seeing everything that's there. And it's really reflective in its tone. It's not sad or happy or mad. It's not overly serious. It's just calm. It's serene. It's imparting wisdom. And the shift, I think, probably comes, I don't know, I'd say it probably came in stanza 2, where it says, and both that morning blew away. because I don't know, maybe it's not there, but maybe it is. I'm just gonna go with that. Yeah, I think it's probably the beginning of stanza, 3, because it goes from just talking about the woods, talking about the different roads, and it goes into that's where it really changes and gets more in depth because that's where it starts talking about how they're equal, how they're two words are essentially the same. There's really no difference to them, and that really makes a difference in the poem. Before just talking about this too fast, that's really like he does something. He says they're equal, and he will keep it for another day. But it's really just a big shift in the poem because it goes from just casually observing it to really thinking about it and taking a different, deeper meaning. So now that we've gone through the poem, looking back at the title, the road not taken is pretty much what I said it was at the beginning, because the road not taken is really things you didn't do, choices you didn't make, but it's also talking about the road that you did take, because if you didn't take one road, you obviously took a different road. And that road is really what matters. It doesn't matter so much what you didn't do, it matters what you did do. So I think that's probably what it's trying to say. It's not trying to say like, oh, all these things you missed out on. It's trying to say all these things you did, all these things you accomplished, everything that you did in your life kind of leads up to where you are right now. And finally, just reflecting on what the title means, kind of just brings out the overall theme of life and our decisions and the consequences of those things and how we really become who we are. And that's the whole theme of the poem. It kind of just draws it on and makes it one cohesive thing. It's not about roads, it's not about woods. It's about us as people, as humans, and making us how we are. The paths we've traveled, the roads we've taken, the choices we've made, the experiences we've had, people we've met. That's what the poem's talking about. It just makes it a little more general. And that's all for me. I have now gone 12 and a half minutes, and out.